As part of a nice change of pace in the class, we've been working on some skills that get a little bit involved in our visualizations. And there's a couple of things that are quite fundamental in Tableau. We've hinted around them, we've used them a bit and haven't really formally discussed them. And I'd just like to take a moment before we really get into the extra stuff in our course and take that next step into some serious visualization. I wanted to button up a couple of these fundamentals. And this particular fundamental is something we've already been using, we just haven't discussed it, and it's called sorting. And so sorting is very simply a way of arranging data. You can have a calculated sort or a custom sort. And we'll take a look at both of those. And so I've connected to a data source, which I've also shared with you, and this simply looks at films and genres over a period of years and audience scores, profitability, etc., worldwide gross. So, for example, if we wanted to take a look at genres, and I was interested in tracking the performance of genres and their profitability across my genres, I'd look at that profitability. Or let's say I wanted to look at something else like worldwide gross. So how much money did these make in dollars? Right? So edit my axis. Worldwide gross. I'll include 0. Okay, that's good. Okay, and I want to make sure that's listed in dollars. So I go here to worldwide gross, right? You recall. And my default properties, my number format, and what I wanted was currency, custom, to 2 decimal places. We'll just keep this to 0 decimal places, and it's in dollars. I'll include the 1,000 separators. There we go. And this is, of course, reflected in millions. So not 2,000, whatever. This is in millions. But in this case, a custom sort we'll get to in a bit. But in a short list like this, we may just want to see what genre garnered the largest worldwide gross and what genre garnered the smallest worldwide gross in sum. And we've done this before, and we simply use this icon by clicking on it. It sorts from largest to smallest. And so in this case, during this period of time, comedies reign supreme. And action did not. Action didn't fare so well. So easy way of sorting our data to see that. Now, we may also, if we had a larger list, for example, we may want to see these listed by genre, and that's the most important part. And the easiest way to organize that is to be alphabetic. So we would go to this header, click on the little arrow button, and we can organize this as alphabetic. And so in a small list, this doesn't necessarily mean much, the alphabetic, but it might make this visualization perfect for us if we were to arrange it in descending order. So let's take the genre away, and we'll leave worldwide gross in. Now let's talk about maybe the film itself. We drop that in. So this is a much longer list. And so with the longer list, alphabetic might be the best way to go, because it's much easier for us to find particular movies in this list if we have the alphabetic breakdown. Or we may just be looking, if we're, say, a prominent Hollywood agent and we're looking to see how certain films did and looking for the top grossing ones, I might just go like this and sort it that way. And we'll see that Twilight generated the biggest worldwide gross. Mamma Mia and Wall-E are up there as well. And so we can custom sort these things as well. And so maybe we have this, but my particular interest was actually looking and keeping an eye on one particular movie as well as looking at the general results. So suppose It's Complicated was a film that starred a number of the actors I represent, and so I wanted to constantly keep an eye on that. So I always needed it up top, but then I wanted everything arranged in this fashion. Well, I can go and say, okay, It's Complicated, click it, drag it, and put it wherever I want. And that would be a custom sort. And you can do that for any one. Now, a few caveats to this. When you change the underlying data in the data set, it updates the numbers and the text in Tableau. So if you were to change the title of a genre or a movie, or if you were to change the numbers, meaning you're connected to a data source that was updating the annual worldwide gross, those would change. If you and that could change the sort. So if you were sorting, for example, in this descending order, and it turned out that Wall-E had a major boost of $100 million and goes to the top, or it moves up a few places, right? That would actually change the sort. The only time this sort wouldn't change based on those data changes would be, in this case, if it was a custom sort. If it was a custom sort, and let's say I was now representing people in Marley and Me, and I wanted to keep that up top. Okay, if I change the underlying data and it changes this ranking, Marley and Me is a custom sort, so that wouldn't change. That would stay in the same spot, as would any custom sorted film. So it's important to keep that in mind as you work with sorts. They're very handy, they're very practical, they're very essential and basic, but there are some rules to keep in mind.